Hello, everyone. This is Andreas Letros, and for the last 10 years, I'm working with manufacturing data to help reduce the scraps, improve quality, and most of all, improve and reduce those manual reportings. And this is actually the topic of the day because we are going to talk about those manual reports that are boring and repetitive and drain the resources of the factory in a way that is not very convenient and definitely is not helping to improve efficiency and metrics. So, today we're going to talk about the manual reportings, how they drain production's resources, and what is the alternative, what is the way to automatize the reporting. So, welcome to my live, and as always, this is Andreas Letros, and welcoming to my live, preparing quality reports manually. Please stop. And so everybody knows about those monthly and weekly Monday production reports. Like there is just one person taking information from the whole factory and is reporting in an Excel, in a report, the volume of the production of the week, the number of scraps, the reason of the scraps, and all the details that are necessary for the week's for the production performance of the week. And those reports go to the plant manager, to the management team, and to all the people that need to take some actions about the plant to improve those KPIs, right? And from my experience, this is a very draining experience for me. And from I have been in both sides, and from the part of the person that is preparing those data, it looks a little bit like that, right? Export data from the SAP, search some information in emails, filter rows in Excel, verify the information, call the colleagues and collect information from over, do some copy paste, do some pivot tables, calculate the KPIs, and finally send those reports to the management team. A lot of information, right? Looks like Jim Carrey when he was working a lot. And how does it look from the person who's waiting for the reports? I have also been in the side. And how does it look like? He's in the meeting, he's waiting for the information. Where are the reports? I have a meeting in 5 minutes. My boss is going to kill me. Every time numbers are wrong, we have errors all the time. I have to pay from people's laziness. I hate waiting. Everybody wants to make me wait. And it looks like there is a war between both of the sides, and both of the sides are actually suffering from this. And from one side, okay, one, I'm a little bit honestly, I'm a little bit embarrassed that I have to describe the uh, the disadvantage of this approach of having manual reports, but I will have to do it, even if it sounds a little bit obvious. But for the ones that are preparing the report, there is a lot of time wasted, there is fatigue and stress, they lose of focus from other activities that they are more specialized on and they are more important for the factory. And of course, there is wasted talent. This person, instead of this person, probably is one of the most experienced people in the factory, and they waste their time preparing their reports, exporting data from the SAP, and preparing, gaining all this, consuming their talent in those bureaucracy and wasting a lot of time, and it's very stressful. From the other side, the one waiting for the reports, the one that is in the management team, the plant manager, the quality manager, the person that has to take decisions, share those data, many times is dealing with delays, is dealing with errors when it comes to the data. It's is willing with in this inability to take real decisions because many times data are coming with errors, they are not coming on time, they are not always available. He cannot really trust those data. They are not very precise sometimes. There are many times the details are missing. And of course, when this person needs this information, they're not available, because they are available once a week when the person can finally collect the information, bring them to him. And talking about those two parts, but overall for the company, what is the drawback? They are paying someone to do a repetitive task. Okay, the mean salary in Italy is 30,000 euro. For someone that's in the office, they are paying maybe a person 20% of their time, 30% of their time, they are spending on those repetitive tasks that can be automatized. This is a lot of money and this is a lot of wasted material. Of course, there is also the part that even if they're tracking their metrics, if there is inability to improve those metrics, inability to improve the scraps, inability to improve the efficiency, inability to improve the production, because there's so much effort in even calculating those metrics that they're not coming on time, they're not available, and it's so much complicated to take. It's so much complicated to take to focus on the action plan and actually have the data on time to be able to focus on a really solid action plan. There's definitely loss of focus because the people, instead of focusing on the action plan, they focus on how to calculate and doing those manual reportings. And of course, there is this part that there is dependence on one person actually. There is, imagine that I remember when I was working, there were some people that were preparing those reports on holidays. They were taking the laptop in the beach and they were preparing those data. And sometimes I was the person that had to prepare those data, taking the laptop to the hotels, to the different countries I was going to on my holidays. And that's so draining. Imagine this person going in pension, leaving the company, then all this manual procedure that they are doing is lost actually. You have to think about in the beginning, they have to train someone else to do it. And somehow only this one person that does the reporting knows all the information that need to um, go in the reports, all the little filters, all the little information that need to be gathered together and bring out the result. So there is a loss from for the person, especially for the person that is doing the reports, because they really have to force themselves, and it's very stressful. And there is a lot of stress for the person who's waiting for the reports, because probably this person is in a meeting and his boss is asking for the data and he doesn't have them, because generally it's difficult to have them. And then there is a lot of pressure from him. He wants the data as quickly as possible. He can have them. So there is an unnecessary stress for him. He can take decisions quickly because he has the data once per week, not when they need it, not every day or every shift. And there is a big loss for the company because they have to pay someone to do repetitive work and they have to be dependent on just one person to do this reporting. And basically, it's very difficult to when it's so difficult to calculate the metrics. It's also difficult to create an action plan and stick to it and work on it because you lose the focus on just doing the calculations. And then, if there are all these drawbacks, like why are we keep doing that? Why so many companies are sticking to this manual reporting? And of course, there is the part that all these manual reports maybe started 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And 10, 15 years ago, there was not so many options around. There was not so much automatization. There was not so much technology to help with this burden. So it was easier for a company to adjust and do this manually, which was perfect. Of course, reporting probably has to start manually because you need to be able to understand every single thing that happens. But I have identified three reasons for that, and one of the reasons, and if you're here in this live, actually, I'm going to clarify the no alternative reason. The first reason is when you think that there is no alternative, or when you think that the alternative is going to cost you so much money. and that's a very legitimate reason. This means that you are proactive and you are searching, and it's not easy actually to go outside and search for a solution. And basically, you think that it's not all the commercial packages or the quality management systems. They are not really offering something to automatize the reporting because actually every single factory is different. They have their own procedures. They have their little things that they be taken care of. They have their own excels. So if you want to automatize those stuff, you need to have something very flexible that will take the form of your production and actually be able to collect on this information together, do the filtering and all the preparation that the person is doing, and give the result, give the KPIs, and give all the informations and the details that need to create a solid action plan. The second thing is one of my worst, and this is the one of the most common is the pride and the comfort. The person that does the reporting gets some sense of pride from doing that because he's the only one knows it. He really feels that he accomplished something by creating the report because it takes so much effort to do it, and he's the only one doing it. He doesn't really want to outsource it, so he's trying to um, basically prevent the company from automatizing it because he feels valuable doing it. He feels maybe he's doing it 10 years. He wants to be indispensable. And of course, there is the comfort, right? Like nobody likes to change. Human beings, we do not like to change. Automatization and finding a better way um, is always uncomfortable. It's always difficult, and it's always risky. So this is the case when, especially when you have a company that there are people that are over 50, that they are working in this company for 20 or 30 years. They would really resist the change, and that's the second reason. And the third reason is actually because you feel there is no perceived urgency doing that. You can have your KPIs right now, you understand your metrics, and for you there is no real reason um, to automatize, to make it better, and to try to improve and to understand better your metrics. And of course, that makes a lot of sense. However, I think that waiting until it gets urgent is too late. You, if your goal is just to calculate some KPIs, show to your suppliers and have the checklist gone, then that makes sense. But if your goal is to actually get something out of these metrics reportings and to improve your production, reduce your scraps, and improve your quality metrics, then it would make sense to try to do things differently, try to automatize and get more details out of your report so that you can take away your focus from the reporting and the repetitive tasks and put all your effort and the focus on the action plan that actually is going to give you back the money and the investment from this reporting system. But today, I am going to concentrate a little bit on the alternative. I'm going to show you what's the alternative, and I'm going to show you a little bit how it works and how other companies are working on it. So, what is this famous alternative? And let's go to my screen. The alternative is when instead of having the person doing all its calculations and all the searching for information, all this really complicated filtering and these pivot tables and all this copy pasting, you have an automatic system that does it. And what does it do? It takes information from the Excel files, from the SAP, from BRP, from text files, from emails, from all the different sources that information is stored in the factory. Everybody is responsible for filling their own Excel files, their own informations, and all this information goes to a BI. Power BI, Tableau, whatever system that you feel more comfortable with. And then all those systems, there is a mechanism, and especially you can do it with Power Query. Power Query is a very potent tool that can do all sort of filtering, pivots, um, merges, can combine different data together, do everything. There is nothing that the person can do manually that the algorithms of the BI cannot do. So you take all this information together, you combine them just one place, you do all the transformation that the person that an employee will do, and then you create the reports, and the reports will be the percentage of scraps, the reasons of the scraps, the details of the scraps, the model that created the small scraps. You have the scraps per area, the cost of the scraps, the production, the efficiency, and all the metrics that you need to know in order to boost your production and every year improve the way you're working and reduce the production costs. And that will really going to show you how an, an example of this. And this is a little bit something that I created that's called the Magic Report. And this is what one of the people that are preparing the was used to prepare those data. Um, this person that wrote this message used to prepare those data, and every morning and every Monday was creating those reports. And he wrote a comment about this magic report, and it's in Italian, but I will translate to you. It says that the magic report solved me a lot of problems. I have data always available, and at every moment I have everything updated. It eliminated a lot of stress and anxiety. What I told you, that there is a lot of anxiety from the person that's preparing the data to deliver, because there is someone on the other side of the line that is asking. And because many times I didn't have the time to prepare the calculations and the different KPIs. And the third thing I suggested to every person that is working in the quality, and with one click, they want to have all the information real time and the situation under control. So this is a little bit the magic report. This is what it does, and basically how it works is that you take information from the production order, the quality controls, the price of materials, the targets, production volume, the scraps, the model mapping, and every real little thing that you collect in the factory. And this is what you get. You get the analysis of how much, for example, how each area is costing in terms of scraps. You have which model create the most scraps for the week, real time. And basically, you have a system, and this is actually from one of my clients, is that every single week you have all your indications about the production in just one table, and you understand the cost of the materials, having done all the different calculations that were being done from by the humans. You have the percentage of scraps, you have how much we produced, how much entered or how much went out, the percentage of scrap, the cost of the scrap, and all the little details that you need in order to understand if your production is going better or is it going worse. And um, this is something that my clients are getting in real time. On the other side, if you don't really have a system that does it automatically for you, get it once a week, once a month, and waste a lot of time. So that was my life for the day. This is what I prepared, and I'm going to summarize a little bit. As I told you today, there are all these manual reports that are happening and are created for Monday, and they are boring and they're repetitive and they drain the resources of the factory, and they are very bad both for the person that is creating them because it creates a lot of anxiety. They are bad for the management, for the plant manager, that they really need to know. how to allocate their resources and how to take actions. And also, they're bad for the company because they are paying for someone that is doing a repetitive work that they could automatize. They can't really seem to focus on the action plan so that they can reduce and improve their KPIs. And of course, they are dependent on one person that knows how to do it. And if this person goes away, they have no idea how to do the reporting in the factory. So it's bad for all three cases. The reason most of the factories are doing it is because they have no alternative. Sometimes it's the pride, the person that already knows how to do it, and so he doesn't really want to give it away. And of course, it's not really urgent. We wait until it becomes urgent. I don't know, but can be an option. And it gets automatized when you can take all those data um, from the SAP, from the MES, from the ERP, from the Excel files, the quality controls, the text files, data from all the machines. You bring them in a BI. The BI can do all these transformations automatically. Everything that the person can do manually, the BI can do it automatically 100%. And then we create the reporting that is real time, not once a week, but once a second. Actually, you can see how production is going once a second. And this is the way to have the information you need to focus on the action plan so that you can improve your KPIs and get better and better and better every week. So that was Andreas Ledros. As I said before, I work 10 years with manufacturing data. I help reduce the scraps, the efficiency, and of course, automatize all these manual reports. And thank you for watching and see you in the next live. Bye bye.